So I was driving around today doing DoorDash and I had all of these different video ideas come to me today. And I thought, man, I've got to get at least one of these video ideas made tonight so I don't forget all of them. So this is one of the ideas that popped into my head today. So I haven't had much time to think about this. I never script my videos, but sometimes I do spend quite a bit of time thinking about them. So I've only had a few hours to think about this, but I have thought about this topic in the past at times. And it has to do with those who are SFs. People who favor their sensing over their intuition and favor their feeling over their thinking. And one of the things that I actually heard someone else mention on one of their channels that I find to hold true is that SFs, more than the other four possibilities, NTs, NFs, or STs, have this proclivity to being disgusted. And when I say that, I don't mean disgusted by like, oh, I can't stand that guy, he disgusts me. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of SFs are certainly well capable of being disgusted by the thought of another human being or that person's behavior. But what I mean is literally smelling, seeing, hearing things, thinking about things that literally disgust them. So let me explain kind of my own experience as it pertains to this, and I'll talk about some other people that I've encountered in my life that deal with this, and maybe you can relate, especially if you're an SF type. If you're not an SF type and you're watching this, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this applies to a wide range of people. But if I'm correct and it affects SFs more than it affects other types, then I would just ask for those of you who are watching and are not SF types to consider this and be aware of it and sensitive to those SF types in your life who may be dealing with this issue, and it may seem odd or out of place to you. So what I have found in my personal life is that I can be easily sickened almost or disgusted to the point, I don't want to exaggerate and say to the point of actual nausea, but almost to that point by things that I see or smell that I find to be I'm going to say disgusting, but what I really want to explain is it's disgusting because it's not, in my perception of the sensory world, as it ought to be. So let me give you some examples of what I'm talking about. First of all, anytime I hear a word that is in any way referring to human or animal solid waste, that makes me, ugh. And people have a lot of words that they use as sort of expletives, foul words, or exclamations that at their heart, the definition is human or animal solid waste. And if I am, let's say I'm eating and somebody just says one of those words, they might not be meaning to talk about waste, but that's what the word means. Now, all of a sudden, that thought is in my head, and it's really hard for me to then eat. It's like, oh, that's so disgusting to me. If I'm walking down the street and I see that a dog has gone to the bathroom, pardon me, on the ground there, that just is disgusting to me. It makes me sick. And I mean, not literally sick, although at times I think I can almost get there, but not literally sick. I don't want to exaggerate or make it seem worse than it is. I have an SF person in my life who cannot watch the movie Men in Black because of the scene where the alien puts on the Edgar suit. If you haven't seen this movie, the alien kills a man and basically puts his skin on in effect, but you don't actually see the man being killed or skinned or anything like that. You just see the alien wearing the skin, and it looks like the guy it was before, but it's not quite right. Everything's just offset a little bit, and the guy stands there and he talks to his wife and he wants sugar water, and he says sugar in water, and this SF person that I know is sickened by that and can't watch the movie because it makes her too disgusted. A lot of SFs will have texture issues or taste issues. Now, I have found that that is not uncommon among STs also, being very picky about their food. Not just because of the taste, but the texture. But that's also an SF thing too, where they can be like, so disgusted by it that they cannot possibly bring themselves to put it in their mouths because it's so nasty. I'm actually extremely off-put by peanut butter. The taste, the smell, everything about it to me is just so disgusting. It's like toxic to me. But SFs are very much that way in general. Now, it's going to vary SF to SF person. One sensing, feeling person is going to be disgusted by that thing over there, while the other one isn't bothered by that at all. But in general, people who are sensing and feeling are going to be sensitive to this being disgusted. There's another thing that just absolutely, it just sickens me, and it's a particular visible piercing. Now, I'm not against piercings. My wife has a nose piercing and ear piercings, and there are plenty of piercings that they don't bother me in the least. In fact, some of them I like, and I think they look very nice. There's one particular piercing, I'm not going to say what it is, but I will say it has to do with something with the head. And when I see it, to me, it's not decorative. It's not a piercing. It's a deformity of the way that the human head face structure should look. It doesn't come off as an accessory to me. It comes off as a twisting, a manipulating of what things should be. And that's really what I think is at the heart and soul of what disgusts the SFs so easily. We, I think, are easily disgusted when we experience sensorily, physically, with the eyes, we see or we smell or taste, perhaps even hear, definitely feel also, something that is so not what our sensory experience says it should be. As we go through our lives, we build up sort of a sensory catalog of the physical world that says things should look this way, they should feel this way, they should sound this way, they should smell that way, they should taste this way, so on and so forth. And I think as sensors, we really do catalog that. But then as feelers, especially I think introverted feelers really, so the ISFPs and the ESFPs are going to be affected by this a lot, I think, is we actually latch onto with our FI this cataloged memory of the way the physical world is supposed to be. And we like it. We have experienced it and it brought us joy and pleasure. And so now we're like, I like this. I like it when the sensory physical world is as I have learned that it should be. And when it isn't, when something that is supposed to be fragrant smells bad, when something that is supposed to be clean is dirty, when something that is supposed to be, let's say, a pristine green grass has animal droppings in the middle of it, that can evoke in us a sense of disgust. And it can be really strong, really severe, to the point that, like, when people have the piercing that I mentioned a moment ago, I can't look at them. And if I have to do business with somebody that has this, it's really hard for me, because there's no way for me to not look like I'm being a jerk or judgmental or whatever. I don't care what you do with your body. Do whatever you want. It makes no difference to me. But it will literally cause within me, a sickening within me to see it. And so while I want to pay you respect and look at you while I'm talking to you and so on and so forth, there are times when I have to look away. And it isn't me trying to be hateful or petty. It's literally me being like so repulsed, disgusted, revolted by this, what I consider to be an anomaly or a deformity of the way things are physically supposed to be in the sensory world. This is a major issue for me in some respects, though in others, it has no effect on me at all. And it is a major issue for a fair bit of other SFs that I know. In fact, I think if I went through all the SFs that I know, if I know them well enough, I could probably identify one or more of these issues with each one of them. Whereas I think the people, especially the intuitives, who are not as keyed in on or focused on the physical world, oftentimes are not so bothered by these things and probably look at SFs as being a little, jacked up or a little weird when they get so bent out of shape over things that aren't as they perceive they should be in the physical world. STs, I think, do deal with it a little bit more than the N types do, though maybe not as much as the SFs. Thank you so much for watching. Do please click the like button if you found this to be informational, entertaining, or useful. Please subscribe if you have not already. And if you find this channel to be helpful to you, if you've been watching my videos and benefiting from them, I would ask that you would kindly consider going to the website in the description where you can make a donation to what I do. I have a lot of video ideas and I'd love to make videos more frequently, but I have to work. I have to work a lot of hours every day. Honestly, I'm outdoor dashing almost every day for quite a few hours. And you know what? You have to work too. So your money is precious to you, just as mine is to me, and I totally get that. But I will tell you that the more of you that can contribute to my channel, the more time I will be able to take away from door dashing and devote to things like making videos for this channel. So in advance, thank you if you do decide to donate. And for those of you who have already done that, it really means a lot to me. I appreciate it so much. And I hope all of you, whether you have donated, will donate, or will never be able to, it's all cool. I hope all of you will have an awesome day. Bye now.